I'm going to call this meeting to order. If you'll please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman Ronas, if you'll please read the mission statement.
Thank you. Silver City is the hub of an inclusive community settled within a small town that through guided growth honors and preserves its historical, cultural, and natural heritage while facilitating jobs, health, and education resources such that the residents and visitors may enjoy and protect the recreational opportunities of the area and high quality of life.
Thank you. Good evening. Before we go to the next order of business, I just wanted to let everyone know that tonight I'll be conducting the meeting as the mayor's out of town for his employment. But never fear, he's joined us on the phone. Hi, Mayor.
Good evening.
All right, there he is. So I ask everyone to please approach the podium all the way when you're going to speak at the podium. You have to come all the way up here. You'll have to identify yourself and speak clearly when you're at the podium, when you're making a report or making a presentation, so that the mayor can hear you and be engaged and participate in the meeting. It's kind of hard when you're on the phone because you don't really hear very well, so that's why the podium's all the way up here. So thank you very much. And our next item on the agenda is proclamations. The Silver City's area's inaugural Poet Laureate. And I ask Jim Kelly, the members of the steering committee of the Southwest Festival, The Written Word, to please come up and join me at the podium along with Bonnie Buckley Maldonado, please. So why don't I have you guys turn around and face over here. Whereas the town of Silver City is incorporated to provide public services and opportunities for cultural enrichment to the community, and whereas the town's effectiveness in the provision of these services and opportunities is often dependent upon the independent vision and efforts of the local citizenry, and whereas the steering committee for the Southwest Festival of the Written Word, with the endorsement of the town of Silver City's mayor and town council, has initiated and completed a search for the Silver City area's first official Poet Laureate, and whereas that search has been completed, resulting in the selection of an excellent candidate for the honorary post of Silver City Poet Laureate. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Silver City Town Council, James R. Marshall, I'm speaking to the mayor, mayor of the town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico, hereby formally acknowledge, endorse, and proclaim Bonnie Buckley Maldonado as the Silver City area's inaugural Poet Laureate. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause this official seal of the town of Silver City to be at this 5th day of April, 2012, signed James R. Marshall, Mayor, and attested by Ann L. Mackey, Town Clerk. Congratulations, Bonnie. Would you like to say a few words?
Jim told me I had...
Oh, a poem.
Jim Kelly told me I had to write a poem for spring, so I did what he told me, and I'm going to read it to you. I won't read too slowly. Short shorts and mustard weed. The women's parade is a show of cool green in elm and cottonwood. A toddler in a pink dress and lime jello tights pedals furiously past biker smiles at the buffalo. The spring equinox zaps most fruit blossoms. Mustard weeds, tough as desert rats, shoots up 6 inches. Awkward teenagers, little kids last fall, have morphed into unfinished adolescents in sandals and short shorts. Male juniper trees stew in clouds of orangey pollen, objects of murderous thoughts by stubborn citizens. Walmart and Ace are bright with gorgeous plants. The first to fall in the decomposed granite we refer to as gardens. The bulls are throwing up earthworks around the baby lettuce, and San Vicente Draw is down to puddles. All are praying for the absence of matches among tall, dry grasses, as bees of geese and winter people move northward and ranchers fret about another drought year. It is a time of holy days among worshipers, with store aisles stuffed with pastel herds of snarky bunnies. Relentless winds blow us seamlessly from wild spring to gentler summer. No time to breathe between extremes. Spring is packed away like itchy winter socks. Thank you.
We can certainly take that and we can enter that into the record and give that to the town clerk. And on behalf of the mayor and the town council, congratulations again and thank you to the steering committee. This is wonderful. I'm so pleased.
I'm very honored. Thank you.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now,
Deputy Chair wanted to say something real quick.
I just wanted to say that as of today, Bonnie is the second seated poet laureate in the state of New Mexico. The poet laureate in Las Cruces has just passed away, and the poet laureate to be in Albuquerque has not yet been inaugurated. So Silver City is going to continue, and we're working on getting all the state's poet laureates down here to Silver City for a convocation.
Thank you. Mayor, I didn't ask if there was anything you'd like to say.
No, just congratulations
Okay.
as well.
Bonnie? I'm not sure if you just heard that, but the mayor said congratulations to you as well. The mayor said congratulations as well. Okay. The next item on the agenda is public input. I ask you to remember that you have 5 minutes. So the Nick Seibel and Ginny Wolf have signed up to talk about Bikes and Blues motorcycle show.
Perfect timing. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, my name is Nick Seibel, and I'm the Silver City Main Street Project Manager. It's nice to be up close and personal. I'm glad I brushed my teeth this morning.
You're thankful.
And all kinds of exciting things are always happening downtown, but we're excited about a new event that's coming up this year for in conjunction with the Members Region Arts Council's Blues Festival. The Friday night prior to their kickoff, the Main Street Project Promotions Committee is planning an exciting new event. Kind of the chairman of the task force that's kind of making all this happen is Jenny Wolf of Jenny Wolf Gallery down on Yankee Street. And so Councilor Ray asked us if we'd come tonight and just give you a quick overview of what we're working on for this exciting new promotion. So, Jenny?
Hello. Hi, Jenny. Nicola, speaking of the microphone, the mayor via phone is doing this.
Okay. Well, I've always noticed that the Blues Festival attracted a lot of motorcycle people, and I thought it would be really great to have a bike show for that Friday before the festival started. And what we're thinking is having the festival on Bullard Street between Broadway and Market, and then the first block of Yankee. So it would be like a T. And we're going to have a street dance, and we're also going to have a People's Choice bike show. And we've got first place is a $500 cash prize. Second place is a $200 gift certificate from Barnett's. And third place is also going to be a gift bag of local merchandise that I've already got quite a bit of. And we've got Harley-Davidson Barnett's of Las Cruces coming with their event trailer. And we've also got Shade Tree Customs. And they're going to be coming with custom motorcycles. And we're going to have a raffle with the Roller Derby girls are going to come and help us with that. And I think it's going to be a really great event for Silver City. Add some more? Or?
And Jenny kind of, this was sort of inspired by, everyone knows about Sturgis, South Dakota, and, that community is a community that really, most of the time, is not much bigger than Silver City. But every year, the Harley riders, the motorcycle people come and really expand that community.
They come from all over the country, all over the world, and it's a town about the size of Silver, and it swells to, 400,000 or more. And I figure if we could get just a percentage of that here, it would just be great for our community.
Right. And I think an important point, and I know there are often a lot of noise complaints that surround motorcycle events, but the Blues Festival is an event that, from the beginning, has always attracted a lot of motorcycle riders. Anyone that's ever been to the Blues Festival and has gone over there on Pope Street has seen them lined up there in the street. So really, those folks are in town already. We may as well make them feel welcome and invite them to come downtown and do a little shopping and enjoy our community prior to the Blues Festival beginning. So we hope that it'll appeal to them. We hope it'll appeal to folks from the community, give them something extra to do. We've been working with Chief Reynolds and have got a permit for the event, and he'll also be working with us for security as well.
Yeah, we've had huge support, though. We've already gotten donations from Isaac's and Javelina's and Vicky's and Diane's and private people, just people that want to see this happen. And there's people from Deming coming and Lordsburg, and I feel like it's a chance for locals to kind of rediscover downtown, too, because it's something they can relate to. It's totally free, so kids can come. And just today I found out that the Forest Service is going to come with Smokey the Bear, and they're going to do, it's Fire Prevention Month, so they're going to do community awareness about that. And I think it's just going to be a great event.
So this is the Friday prior to the Blues Festival. That's May 25th. From 3 to 9 p.m. right in the middle of downtown. So we hope if folks are interested in entering, get in contact with either the Main Street office or Jenny at her gallery, and we'd be happy to have participation from anyone that's interested.
I brought extra flyers, too, with all the information, just if you guys want to have a look.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is council comments. Councilor Cook?
Hello. Hello. Oh, there it goes. I don't have too much to say. Jay Ortiz, I'd like to thank him. He did help. There was a tattered American flag hanging down at the bottom of Juniper and 180, and Jay Ortiz put a lot of energy into calling around and trying to, well, number one, start off by finding out who owned the flag. He had a real hard time with that. And he was calling me all weekend, and the Monday that all the phones went out, he ended up using his home phone, I guess, and discovered who had, I guess it was the Kiwanis that owned the flag, and they removed the flag. I haven't noticed if they put a new one up yet. I was going to look today, but I went around that spot. But thank you, Jay Ortiz, for putting out a lot of energy on that. That's it.
Councilor Ray?
Thank you. With warm weather really approaching, be sure and support your local downtown merchants, whether it be the food co-op, tamales, pizza, coffee, ice cream. Support them. That's ours and yours, downtown merchants. Also, if you're short of garbage bag, be sure that the city hall has garbage bag for sale for the people. I think the mayor mentioned this before, that if you called, or maybe we should call the P&M offices in Santa Fe and complain that we need to have this office stay here to pay our bills here. I believe he said that he was the only one, or Silver City was the only one that complained about it and was pushing for it. So let's see what we can do. I've been doing a little bit about research on cell phone usage, and I think it's a safety issue. And I'm asking the mayor to see if he can put it on the next agenda for the next council meeting for discussion. Thank you.
Councilor Ronas?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask the mayor, I just wanted to say that I attended First Fridays last Friday, and I did my left handprint in clay for the Many Hands mural that will be installed at Penny Park over Earth Day, I think it is, on April 21st. And that's going to be a combined mural project, Members Region Arts Council mural project with, I believe, Comcast is doing that. So if you're interested in participating in that, I know that the Members Region Arts Council has been putting out a lot of press about that, and you can certainly contact their offices and or also Dinah Ingalls Leba at L&I Arts downtown on Main Street. So it's a added value project to our new Penny Park. So we're excited about that. Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments?
No, I'll forgo since I'm on the phone.
Okay. You sure? I just thought I'd ask it. Okay. All right. Any second round or anything? Or round? Okay, great. Are there any changes to the agenda? There being none, our next order of business is approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Town Council on March 29th of 2012. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion
To
approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 29th, 2012.
I second that motion.
It's moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular Town Council meeting of March 29th, 2012. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Stop laughing. Okay. The next item on the agenda is reports. Let's see, Dr. Simi, you want to talk about what the recycling committee is up to with Earth Day and e-waste?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, Council, Terry Timmy with the Recycling Committee and the Office of Sustainability. And I'd like to talk to you about events coming up in a week and a half. On April 20th, there'll be a film called Gasland, which is about fracking. It'll be at the Silco, and it's being sponsored by GRIP and a number of other environmental organizations, and it's sort of a lead-in to Earth Day, which occurs the next day. The town is a major sponsor of Earth Day celebration, in addition to Gila Resources Information Project. It'll be in Goff Park this year instead of in Penny Park due to the renovations, and it'll be from 10 to 2. There'll be a lot of events going on in Penny Park. There'll be probably 20 to 30 organizations, environmental as well as civic organizations, where you can get information about how to be more involved in the community. There'll be a number of organizations selling plants, so if you're interested in native plants or bedding plants to get the gardening season started, it's a great place to pick those up. We'll have a number of vendors selling food. There'll be entertainment going on throughout the day in the gazebo. So there'll be a lot of activities going on for both children and adults, so it should be a great time. The other interesting thing going on at that same time will be across the street, between 10 and 2, just south of Goff Park in the parking lot, the town parking lot next to the Diamond Shamrock Station. We'll be having a big recycling drive. It'll be recycling through Southwest Solid Waste as well as electronic waste. So for everybody that wants to bring their recycling in, they can bring in bottles, cans, papers, all types of plastics, and even glass to recycle at the recycling trucks that are going to be brought there by Southwest Solid Waste. Also, we'll have a company from Arizona, Unicor Prison Industries, that will be collecting all the electronics that people want to bring. And for that, it's completely free for all of your electronics. We are asking for a voluntary donation of $5 for each computer monitor or TV that you bring in, just because they have a large amount of lead in them. They're charging us to process those. But all electronics can be brought into the e-waste event, and that's going to be also between 10 and 2 on Saturday. That's April 21st. And the entrance for that is actually going to be off 11th Street to avoid traffic congestion around Goff Park. And there's information about all these events on the town website. Just put on there today, so on the homepage of the town you can find out more information, including my contact information if you want to find out more. Any questions?
So between 10 and 2?
Between 10 and 2 on Saturday at Goff Park, April 21st.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown? Any parts? Okay. Chief Reynolds? Okay. Mr. Escada? Okay. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on. The next item of business is under new business, approval, disapproval of special dispenser permit application for the Rotary Club of Silver City 2012 Centennial Gala and Charity Auction on April 28, 2012, from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Grant County Business and Conference Center, 3031 Highway 180 East, Silver City, New Mexico. License holder Stampy Martin number 4, license number 0151, owner name W&N Enterprise Incorporated, 206 North Hudson, Silver City, New Mexico. Mr. Bernard, and anyone else you'd like to have come up with you? Apparently not.
My name is Wayne Bernard, and I am the president of Silver City Rotary, and we're here to request consideration for the special dispenser permit application. This is going to be for our Rotary 2012 Centennial Gala and Charity Auction. That's going to be held Saturday, April 28th at the Grant County Business and Conference Center. This is our signature fundraising event. Our proceeds will benefit youth-oriented local non-for-profit agencies and programs, specifically for the Literacy Link Limos Let's Read program, the Members Region Arts Council Youth Mural Projects, the Silver City Museum's Societies Spoke of the Hub program, that's featuring hands-on activities for school-aged children, and furnishing a youth space at the Wellness Coalition. We expect approximately 250 people to attend this year's Rotary Silent Auction. Tickets are $20 per person, and there will be a limited number of tickets available at the door. There are 16 local restaurants participating and will be providing food for guests. As mentioned, Snappy Mart, aka WNN Enterprises, will be managing the beer and wine bar, and the Sheriff's Department will be providing security. There will be non-alcoholic beverages available to our guests, such as bottled water, soda, and juice. So we look for this to be a great event, a lot of fun. And we thank you for your consideration.
Does the council have any questions?
I don't.
Sorry. Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Do I hear a motion? Councilor Rose.
I move for approval of special dispenser permit application for the Rotary of Silver City 2012 Centennial Gala and Charity Auction on April 28, 2012, from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Grant County Business and Conference Center, 3031 Highway 180 East, Silver City, New Mexico. License holder Snappy Mart number 4, license number 0151, owner name WNN Enterprise Inc., 206 North Hudson, Silver City, New Mexico.
I seconded. Motion is read.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the special dispenser permit application for the Rotary Club of Silver City 2012 Centennial Gala and Charity Auction on April 28, 2012, from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Grant County Business and Conference Center, 3031 Highway 180 East, Silver City, New Mexico. License holder Snappy Mart number 4, license number 0151, owner name WNN Enterprise Incorporated, 206 North Hudson, Silver City, New Mexico. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You've been approved. Just make sure you see the town clerk tomorrow morning. The next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2012-14, a resolution authorizing the submission of a Colonias Infrastructure Fund application to the New Mexico Finance Authority, and authorizing the mayor as the chief executive officer and authorized representative to act in all matters pertaining to the town's participation in the New Mexico Finance Authority Colonias Infrastructure Fund program. Mr. Brown, Ms. Lucero?
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, first, before I present the next two resolutions, I asked Priscilla, the Director of the Council of Governments, to make a short presentation on this new funding source that is available to Colonias in southern New Mexico. So I'm just going to let Priscilla talk about it for a minute.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council. I'm Priscilla Lucero, and I'm the Executive Director of the Southwest New Mexico Council of Governments. I've been working with Colonia since about 1990. This is a new program, a new initiative that was actually began with Senator Morales and actually introducing a piece of legislation to be able to take severance tax fund monies and set those aside for purposes of grant funding to communities that are Colonias designated areas. And so a Colonias designated area is an area that's within 150 miles of the Mexican border. It has inadequate wastewater, inadequate water, wastewater, and lack of decent, safe, and sanitary housing. It must have been in existence prior to November 28, 1990. So back in 1990, Grant County was approached to actually designate those areas that they thought met that criteria. And so on August 1st, 1991, Grant County actually designated Silver City as a Colonias. And primarily the Colonias designation, really what it does is open up opportunities for the local governments to apply for funding. And this particular funding with the severance tax bond money, this year there will be $13 million available. That's severance tax bond money, so depending on how the economy is doing, then next year that amount could increase. So eligible activities under the Colonias program include water projects, wastewater projects, roads. It also includes housing infrastructure. And when I talk about housing, that doesn't mean anything above ground, it means primarily underground. So if you're talking about infrastructure for housing development, those utilities, those are the kinds of things that we're talking about when we refer to housing activities. So the actual grant program requires a 10% cash match. So for an example is if you are applying for a water project and you're applying for phase 2 of that water project, all the funds that have been utilized under phase 1 can then be used as matching funds under phase 2. So that's one way of meeting the match requirement. The other way is by actually, if you're investing some of your local funds for engineering and design, that's another way to meet the match requirement. So it's pretty easy to meet the 10% when you look at some of the costs and some of the monies that have been invested in the project. The other requirement, I think it's important to note, is that there's a 10% loan component for the entity applying for funds. So that'll be determined on the back end. And so this will be a loan of 10% through New Mexico Finance Authority at 0% interest. So there are waivers for that loan. If for some reason we have a community that cannot meet the loan requirements, there are ways that we can actually either extend the period from which they begin to pay off the loan, or we can actually look at what their financial capacity is in order to pay back that loan. You must put some type of revenue at the application phase for determining how you would actually pay off that loan. So I think that's kind of a general overview. Do you have any questions for me about the Colonias program itself?
How many years will it take to, say, for instance, that we apply for a grant like that, and say, for instance, $1 million, what would be the time to pay it off?
You know what, they really didn't give me an indication as to what that loan term. I think it's going to depend on your financial capacity, if that's what you're asking.
Financial capacity.
I think they look at, a lot of times I think where they get more concerned is because this pot of money is open to special districts, which are water districts. And so they have to look at water districts to determine whether they can actually have the user fees to be able to pay that loan back. In your case, then when you're pledging, they may look at if you're applying for a water project, they're going to look at your water revenues. In that case, they're going to look at to see if you have an approved budget, and they're also going to look to see if you're in compliance with your audits. So those are things that they'll be looking at. Part of what we see in water districts is that most of those people that are part of a water district don't really have a form of government except to say they're a board and they're a volunteer board, but really don't understand all the government aspects that are associated with that. So a lot of times we have to work with them a little more to understand what those processes are. Okay. Any other questions?
I don't think so, none at this time. But Mr. Brown, did you want to speak to Resolution 2012-14?
Yes, Resolution 2012-14 is for the construction of the Mountain View Road sewer line extension. The entire project cost and application is for $1.25 million. The town will be putting $112,000 as cash match, and then at the back end we would be having to pay $20,000 as loan if we end up having to borrow the money, which I don't see that we're going to have to. What we're planning on doing is, if we are awarded these funds, this will be over a 2 fiscal year period, so we will be able to split that match between 2 fiscal years, which would end up being approximately $165,000 between the 2 years.
And we'll be using the water sewer.
The water sewer, and if there is a loan, then as required in the utility rate structure ordinance, any loan for the sewer or wastewater would be factored in as part of the base rate for the user fees, but I don't see us having to do that.
So, Ms. Brown, I do have a question about, so the town would put in the main infrastructure, and then each resident would need to do the extension from their home to our infrastructure, is that correct?
Yes.
So they're responsible for paying for that extension.
Yes.
So, is there a period of time in which they're supposed to do that, or it can be?
I think we're going to have to, if we're awarded these funds, because as long as there is a sewer line within 300 feet of the residence, then you're required to attach to the sewer main. I think we can, if we are awarded these funds, we would request waivers of, some waivers for these residents so that they have time to come up with the funds to attach and...
I could address that.
And before, just before we, I guess if it's going to take 2 years for the actual construction to be completed on our end, then they would have that time as well as any additional time that, Priscilla's probably going to talk about that might, I guess my concern is making sure that the residents have ample time to be able to come up with the funding to be able to ensure that they can do that attachment within, I'm assuming positively that we're going to get these funds because we're very proactive in doing this.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, I just wanted to mention that there is a program through the U.S. Department of Agriculture that can actually help low-income families, if they are low-income, to be able to connect. So if we have those circumstances, then we certainly need to determine who those families are and get them connected with the right individuals so that when that time comes, we have their application in place to be able to assist with that.
So that's great.
So there's an opportunity.
Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions?
No, it's just a great project that, some of the critical services that we provide for life safety and health are water and sanitary sewer service. So we need to continue to work towards and providing that service throughout the entire town. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilors? Any comments?
I'd just like to agree with the mayor. This is a very important project as we move to improve our infrastructure across town, and I think this is greatly needed by the residents in this area.
I have to say I'm very thankful that these monies became available, and this is excellent that we'll be able to apply for these funds, and I'm ever hopeful that we'll get them. When would be the earliest possible date that we would learn if we were successful in the grant?
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, the actual award date is I think been set at July 2nd. And so
quickly.
So pretty quickly. They actually want to move these projects as quickly as we can once they are awarded. As you know, there's only 5 years for this program, and so it's critically important that we actually show the value within southern New Mexico that we can actually get these funds and implement them quickly, because as we know, there's always discussions about that these conditions exist in the north. Unfortunately for them, that the designation is based on the federal designation, and that's what we're following here, so we have that advantage at this point.
And if we are awarded the funding, we would proceed immediately with the design portion, and then once we're completed with that, then we would immediately go out to construction.
Great. Thank you. I have one question I need to ask the council, because I forgot to ask him before I was seated. As a councilor, I can make a motion, can I not?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Mayor. I was pretty sure I could, but our councilor is looking at us looking at me with puzzlement at the present time.
Well, it's an issue because you, as Mayor
I am
Pro Tem-
running the meeting, I know.
Right.
So, I will ask for a motion. You mean I can't even,
You can vote,
but I can't make any...
and you can't make the motion, but you make the motion as a counselor, not as Mayor Pro Tem.
And I would not be able to make any amendments either. But I'm making the motion as a counselor.
Ask somebody else to make the motion, and you
I will.
make that amendment that you wanted to.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, quickly before I make a motion, is there anything, is there anything wrong with leaving off in this resolution on number 3, where it reads, "The town of Silver City's officials and staff are directed to do any and all acts necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution"? Would it be appropriate to leave out officials on that line?
It would be appropriate to leave out that whole sentence.
To leave out the entire
Paragraph
sentence?
3. Yes,
The whole sentence?
you don't need it.
And that does not bother me from my standpoint.
Yeah, I think that the application requires the wording, at least the town of Silver City staff can enter into the agreement.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, normally what we see is that once awards are made, they want to enter into an agreement with the local government immediately. And so in some cases, that requires the elected official to sign. In some cases, it requires the staff. Since this is a new project, I'm not sure which of the two they're going to want to have signed, but I believe that's the reason for having either staff or
Well, I just want to make
officials.
the point that under number 2, the council is designated, directs and designates the mayor as the town of Silver City chief executive officer and authorized representative to act in all matters in connection with the application. So, in the town of Silver City's participation in the New Mexico Colonial Infrastructure Fund, so I would think that that might cover it, but, I mean, I think that we can, I think that officials and can be removed while retaining the body of the sentence, just to ensure that there wouldn't be any potential problem with the application.
Yes, we agree.
So to,
Removing officials,
and, the two words, officials and, but retaining the staff portion.
Because number 2 covers what you're...
Okay, but retaining number 3, with the exception of those two words, would be best, in your opinion, to ensure that
That's correct.
okay. Did you get that? Okay. Councilor Moronis.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mrs., I didn't know I became Mrs.
Yes,
Thank you.
I apologize. I move for approval of resolution number 2012-14, a resolution authorizing the submission of a Colonias Infrastructure Fund application to the New Mexico Finance Authority, and authorizing the mayor as the chief executive officer and authorized representative to act in all matters pertaining to the town's participation in the New Mexico Finance Authority Colonias Infrastructure Fund program, with one amendment to number 3 of the resolution, to strike the words officials and from that sentence, so that the sentence will now read, "The town of Silver City's staff are directed to do any and all acts necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution."
Is there a second?
I'll second it as written.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2012-14, a resolution authorizing the submission of a Colonias Infrastructure Fund application to the New Mexico Finance Authority, and authorizing the mayor as the chief executive officer and authorized representative to act in all matters pertaining to the town's participation in the New Mexico Finance Authority Colonias Infrastructure Fund program, with the amendment to remove from number 3, officials and, so that the sentence would read, "The town of Silver City's staff are directed to do any and all acts necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution." All those in favor signify by saying, oops. Oh my, I'm sorry, I forgot on resolutions. Let me, before I do that, is there any further discussion? I forgot to do that earlier. Is there any further discussion?
I'm kind of curious, what are the people that this is affecting, how do they feel about it? I mean, you know, I would like if I got a new sewer line, but I'm probably not quite as rural as they are.
Well, in working in this particular field, here are some of the benefits, is that most of the homes that you have out in this area, number one, are probably on septic tanks. Whether those are permitted septic tanks or not, it's not for us to determine. And so, because it is an older part of the area, that they may be under unpermitted septic tanks, or maybe in some cases under cesspools. That also is, say, if they are on a permitted septic tank, then they have to have that cleaned out every so often. So that puts an extra burden on the householder to have to actually clean out every so often. I believe that's every 6 years, if I remember correctly. So having this to where they can actually connect then alleviates that situation where now they're part of the city wastewater system. And so that's a tremendous benefit. The other benefit is that what we've seen in so many of our areas is that when we do have leakage of those septic tanks, or if there are cesspools, then what's happening is that we're contaminating the groundwater. So then that actually puts an extra burden on them, because we don't know if they're actually being provided water through the city water supply, or if they have their own well, and in some cases they have both. And then if there is contamination of water, then then you as a city are then having to deal with those issues regarding the contamination of the water. Is that helpful?
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious about them, you know, like how they feel about it, because, you know, you get in those rural areas.
Yes, Mayor.
I can tell you over the last 6 years, the ones that have contacted me have been actually rather upset that they did not have town sewer service within the town limits. And this is fulfilling many of that, as well as much of what Priscilla just said, that there's issues with groundwater.
And I believe it actually enhances overall property value in a sense. I mean, this is really what we want to make sure that our residents are being provided with all the services that the rest of our residents are receiving. So we just want to ensure that everybody is receiving those same services that we provide, and that they're, you know, that they're actually paying for these services through property taxes and other items. So, you know, I know it's a small amount, but every single bit counts when you're, you know, paying any sort of tax. Councilors, anything? Mayor, anything else?
I have a question. If that's okay. I didn't hear Councilor Hester Cook's question being answered. How do the people there feel about it? I just want, maybe she doesn't know, but Priscilla.
Well, I think the mayor addressed that by saying that, Mayor, if you would reiterate really quickly, but I mean, I can certainly do that for you if you'd like, but the mayor stated that many of the residents of that area over the 6 years he's been mayor have contacted him to tell him that they were upset that they didn't have town sewer. So is that accurate, Mayor?
Yes, that is an accurate statement.
Thank you. Okay. Roll call.
Councilor Morales?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Bedison?
Aye.
Councilor Cook?
Aye.
The motion carries. I gotta remember to hit the gavel. I'm having trouble hitting the gavel. I have to keep reminding myself to do that. The next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2012-15, approving an application to the New Mexico Finance Authority under the Colonias Infrastructure Fund. Mr. Brown, Ms. Lucero.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution that basically the same as the previous resolution, but it is for a different project. This is for the preliminary engineering report for the regional water system, which would consist of developing a well field at the Hurley, the Grant County Airport, connecting that well field to Hurley's tanks, connecting the same system to Baird's storage tanks and to Santa Clara's storage tanks, and then connecting our transmission line from Marinas Valley to Santa Clara. That way we have redundancy throughout the entire county. This would affect Hurley, Baird, Santa Clara, the unincorporated areas, which entail the Rosedale Rosedale, Pinos Altos, Marinas Valley, North Hurley, Fierro, Hanover, Vanadium, and Turnerville, all located in Grant County, which are all designated colonias. The total project cost that we're requesting is $128,099. As the 10% match up front, we are using the hydrology that the town has already done for the entire for the recharge project that we're working on, as well as the test well that was drilled by Hurley out at the airport.
I have a question. So actually, it's the total, not including archaeological surveys, is what the one I have says.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, this is the estimate that we received from Engineers, Inc., and I'm not sure about the archaeological surveys. I know that what I needed to include was the gross receipts tax, but I'm not sure.
Well, the intent of using the regional water system is to use existing right-of-way, which already has been, that work has already been done because of the Tri-City wastewater system, which already connects Hurley, Baird, and Santa Clara. There may be some that needs to be done between Silver City and Santa Clara, that one connection. So that'll be addressed at a later time.
And potential development down near the Grant County Airport, that well field itself may need.
That may need some.
Yeah, just since it has yet to be developed, correct? This is to be the first, okay.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, Alex, was that not part of the preliminary engineering report that was done by Engineers Inc. for the town of Hurley?
Yes.
So I believe that
It was done,
Yes.
so the survey's already been done.
There's already been a preliminary engineering report done by the town of Hurley for that well field site.
Okay.
So that should have been included already, and that preliminary engineering report will be folded into this larger regional project.
I only ask because I know that there are some costs that can be
absolutely
associated with archaeological surveys, in my experience. Just want to make sure there's enough money there. Any questions?
Actually, this application is being submitted on behalf of the Grant County Regional Water
Commission.
And we have been asked to be the fiscal agent, the lead agency for it. And this was agreed upon at the last Water Commission meeting.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, just to give you a little more information on this particular project, as part of the cost-benefit ratio and doing some of the calculating of the data, when you look at the people benefiting from this project, you're talking about 18,444 people that are benefiting. So when you do the cost-benefit ratio for the amount of money that we're requesting, You're talking about just on the Colonias funds itself, it's about $6 per person versus about $37 on the total project cost that includes the cash match. The cash match, if I remember my numbers correctly, because I worked on so many different projects, was about $355,000 worth of cash match already put towards this project from Town of Silver City and Town of Hurley.
Okay. Mayor, do you have any comments that you'd like to make?
No, this is just another piece of bringing together the regional water system that has so many benefits that have been previously explained.
Thank you.
I fully support this.
Thank you. I do too. I know that this has been something that's been discussed for quite some time, and I'm glad to see it coming to before us for consideration. So, thank you.
And I really want to thank Priscilla because we put her in a tight spot. The Water Commission, I've seen part of the application, which is almost a foot thick. So I really appreciate all of her help getting this, along with our staff, Robert and Peter, and I think Baird and the other communities have helped. So it has been a regional effort to get this thing put together, and I want to thank everybody.
Wonderful. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, but I don't know if long words go along with it.
What do you want? You need to read them.
Yeah.
No. This one down for you. I'm going to read the whole thing here.
Okay, the C?
Yeah, see.
Okay.
You have to move to do one of those.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem?
That works. If the mayor's okay with that.
I move to approve resolution number 2012-15, approving an application to the New Mexico Finance Authority under the Colonias Infrastructure Fund Program.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2012-15, approving an application to the New Mexico Finance Authority under the Colonias Infrastructure Fund Program. Is there any further discussion? Mayor?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Roll call?
Aye.
Councilor Edison.
Aye.
Councilor Ray.
Aye.
Councilor Moronis.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I hear a
Don't do it.
I make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
So moved and second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is over.